Welcome to In the Know with Steph and Joe. In the Know with Steph and Joe is all about small business development. These two entrepreneurs bring real life experience, laughter, and, well, just a ton of knowledge on how to build your small business and make it thrive. After all, this is your creation. Now learn how to make it sing. In the Know with Steph and Joe airs Fridays at 3 p.m. right here on 216 The Net. Like, follow Steph's books and Restoration One of Cary, along with 216 The Net on Facebook, and subscribe to the 216 The Net YouTube channel. Today, In the Know with Steph and Joe is all about drinky food.
Drinky food. I love a good drinky food. Doesn't everybody? Everybody wants a good drinky food. I mean, you could let it fade out. Drinky poos, God, Steph, that thing you have right there in front of you is...
I'm good. I'm good. I think I'm good.
It's straight sugar.
I can't do sugar. Like, the older I get, the less sugary drinks I can do. That is a hangover in a cup. Nope, I'm good.
Just one?
Yep, nope, just a couple sips. I think I'm good.
You got your hangover in a couple sips?
Yep, now I gotta go to the dentist.
I think I take one. Got to brush, I got to floss, I got to do everything after that thing.
Yeah.
Well, what's your go-to? Now, since we're talking drinks.
Well, everybody that knows me, it's whiskey or bourbon on the rocks.
Right, I knew that. I know. All right, what's your favorite? I know I bought you a bottle or two. So what's your go-to actual whiskey bourbon?
Well, it changes here and there, but like right now I'm kind of into the rum casted bourbons and whiskeys. So, like Angel's Envy Rye, Breckenridge, rum cast, I think is what it's called. But yeah. Those ones, it's just an interesting, different flavor. Because before that, I was into port barrels. So
straight on the rocks. When you're out at an event, are you ordering your drink, something like that, at an event, or are you ordering something different?
Well, funny you say that, because when I first started, when I first opened Steph's Books and I started networking and stuff, I was drinking like a glass of wine or whatever. Like the other people were drinking, I kind of just went with...
I was going to say, why I never would picture you drinking wine.
Well, as we all know, I'm not allowed to drink wine unsupervised, but that's for a different show. But so I would drink like the White Claws or the wine or whatever, but a lot of mixers don't have whiskey and bourbon unless it's like at a restaurant.
Right, where it's just an open,
or if it's
normal
like
open bar,
one of the things, like if I host it, then it will be there. When you hosted, you had Jameson's at yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was drinking that, and then I started. But then when we would go to a restaurant and have a mixer, then I would order like a Makers and Coke or whatever, because that's easy and simple. But then a couple of the other ladies were like, "You order men's drinks or men's drinks."
So somebody said that to you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, that they don't, But I've always liked whiskey. Like I tried in my early 20s to do the vodka cranberries and stuff.
Well, but I was going to, oh God, I did vodka cranberry. I actually really don't mind a vodka cranberry, but not anymore. I haven't done that in a long time.
But I've just always liked whiskey. So, but yeah.
Which I don't think it's a man's drink. There are a lot of men that I know that don't drink whiskey.
Right. Like, I mean, like when Rich and I go out to dinner,
right.
He'll order a Mai Tai and I'll order an old fashioned.
Right.
But now Rich has come around in the last probably
or a beer or whatever.
Yeah, but his go-to is like a Mai Tai. Like that's his favorite drink.
He likes rum.
Right. He likes that. But now in the last 2 or 3 months, he's really acquired a taste for whiskey. So now he'll order an old fashioned as well.
I was going to say, I think the last time we were out at Whiskey Bungalow.
Yeah. Well, they have whiskey there.
Well,
I don't think they make Mai Tais there.
They have some rum, but then not much. Interesting. Okay, so you have adjusted. You adjusted in the beginning, and now you're back to just, I don't care. I'm ordering whatever I want.
Yeah, because just because you
don't care.
No, I'd rather drink what I want to drink. Just like at the one mixer, I brought my own roadie.
I love that.
I know we're talking about, well, today on the show, just in case anybody is wondering, we're talking about drinking responsibly.
Right. Always 100% without fail. It is drinking responsibly.
Eric, you have no room to talk, my friend.
Eric, no, he drinks responsibly. His comment is Rich ordering a woman's drink makes sense, which
that's just being a polite human.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll order it.
Although I will say I'll order my lady a drink because it's usually a Diet Coke or a water, and that's it. My lady. I will say at your guys' event, Kent, you had what was that, like a moonshine mix?
I do have some banana pudding still left. Banana pudding moonshine.
Yeah, and then the strawberry one. The strawberry one, you walk up. Oh, okay. No, thank you. We're not drinking on the show. Well, we are, but we're not like going hard on the show.
The church guys came in and they had a little cold on Wednesday. So I gave them each a little shot of that. And they're like, "Oh, this is good." So they had a few before they.
The church guys. Nice.
Yeah. Well, so because I know that your go-to normally is the rum and Coke with like a whole lime.
As much lime as I can get. I forget the name of rum Coke with lime. It's like a Cuba Libre or something like that. But I don't have to have the lime, but I'm trying to fight scurvy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. I'm trying to fight scurvy. I'm trying to fight scurvy as much as possible. Well, that's why I add as much.
You do have to take a boat out to be right.
Yep, that's true.
See, fair enough. So
you got your sea legs.
I do have sea legs, but I don't. I try not to take the ferry as much as possible. In fact, this past summer, my daughter and I were over on the island and we got stranded and the fog rolled in and the plane wouldn't fly, but the boat was leaving and I went, nope, we'll stay another day. We'll wait for the plane. I don't want to have to fight scurvy that much. We're running out of limes.
So I'm sure like you've gone to networking events. I've gone to networking events.
Right.
I've also gone on business trips, and you've gone on business trips.
Correct.
Like current life and previous life.
Correct.
So I guess let's start off with some of the funny horror stories of some of the stuff we've seen.
Wait.
I
think as we're talking about this, I think you have to put in context the event. If you're at an all-day golf outing,
different.
Well, so like I think there's no problem at all with drinking by any means, no problem at all.
Yeah.
But some people take it to a level that could impact their business or their job security because they go too far.
The last time I've been out at I went to a lot of golf events this year, but one of the golf events this year was in the middle of the year. It was 95 degrees. It wasn't an event, but it was a bunch of guys going out, and I knew we would be drinking, and I brought this 60-ounce thermos of ice and water, and I finished that thing twice while we were out there. Right? Like knowing that I could have 3 beers on the front 9 and be totally whatever off because I'm way dehydrated. So knowing what I have to drink a crap load of water while I'm doing that. That to me is something that I pay attention to. But yeah, I think that's a good point of going on an all-day golf event. What do you do? How do you take care of yourself?
But we sponsored a golf hole, like me and Steph's books. And so Valerie and Melanie were out there. So it was an all-day event. And then afterwards you do the dinner / networking, which in this case, it was just hors d'oeuvres and open bar, which was fine. And it was really good. But so like, it was an all-day thing. And I told Valerie and Melanie before we left the office, like, I don't care how much you guys drink because I don't know your tolerance. I'm not your mom, but you are still out here representing the company. And people are going to talk to you.
I.e., don't be like, off on the...
like, it's not like, it's just like no different when we did the ribbon cutting for the Learning Center a couple weeks ago. They were also here at the event. People were drinking. And again, I just told them, like, have whatever cocktails, but don't, like, this is a ribbon cutting for the thing. Like
holding your hair while you're puking.
Right. And we're going to Vegas in a couple months for a work conference. And so
$1 million room?
Not yet. But maybe I think maybe
next year.
I don't. That would be crazy. I think probably like 3 years. I think we'll be able to be in that room.
Yeah.
From now, 3 years from now. But
all right, people, let's make it happen next year.
Yeah. Come on, guys. We're getting the BHAG done for Steph next year.
That's it.
She's got a BHAG of next year.
Let's trim it down.
But so like I told them, like I don't care what you do in the evenings in Vegas after 5:30 when the conference ends, but you need to be up and ready to go at 7:30 in the morning for the start of your day for the start of the conference. And you're going to be going into classrooms and doing learning, and you need to come out of there with notes and information.
That's a good point. I took one of my employees to a education thing, and we were out, went to Topgolf the night. That was like the first night we were there. Or second night we were there, whatever it was, but we went to Topgolf and with one of the guys that was there and had a good time, enjoyed ourselves, then went to the hotel lobby, enjoyed ourselves some more, shut that down, woke up the next morning. I was fine.
Right.
I could get up, go, totally be good, was attentive at the class, all this. He was a wreck. Oh no, it was the second night. It wasn't the first night. It was the second night. It was first night probably added to the second night, but it was the second night. I mean, we're on a trip and it's me and him and we're going to this education, thing. And so we met some other R1 employees and owners from other R1s throughout the country. And so we're meeting these people here and he's like, I can't do it. I can't go the same pace as you, because he knew that, I could bounce back real easy and I had no problem with it.
But they don't have to keep up with you or catch up with you.
Well,
like,
that
it's not
was
like
the
you're
thing.
going
like I didn't make him
adult.
right. Like I didn't make him go and have a drink each time I ordered a drink. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was, like he just, I'll take another. Yep. I'll take it. Yep. Or whatever it was. So like, you're right. I did not make him do everything. And then he was wrecked.
Like
I just never, the last day.
Like I never understand when people try and keep pace with somebody, like as an adult. Like I understand you making that dumb mistake when you're like a teenager, maybe in college, but when you're an adult and if you're out drinking, you don't have to go drink for drink with somebody.
Right. Which to me, that's where I think a lot of people, I don't know. I mean, I feel like some people feel they need to go drink for drink with somebody. Like, so not like I don't need to. I was out with a buddy 2 nights ago and literally had one drink for the whole night. And they're like 2 or 3 or 4. I don't know how many. We were there for a while. Right. Like we were there for a while and I literally just sipped and milked one whole drink the whole time because I just wasn't feeling it but I just didn't want to be like, give me a water the whole night. Right. Oh, that's a good point.
Well, so like what I do, like, cause when I used to do subprime lending, and this was like my first like real, like true business trip when I would do those like continuing education things for that. And those like people and the vendors, I mean, they would drink, like blackout drink.
Is it like drinking drugs? Because like I feel they were like certain doing whatever places, in the hotel rooms and whatever. Yeah.
I do not drink like that in an unfamiliar environment as a woman, and I am in a hotel room by myself. Like there's no way I'm drinking like that. It's not happening.
I think Rich appreciates that.
Yeah, but So what I would do is if I would drink like a Makers and Coke, I would do a Makers and Coke, and then my next drink would maybe just be straight Coke. And I would just have them put it in a short cup, same cup, nobody would know. So this way then you don't have to feel like it's just weird as an adult that you have to feel that level of peer pressure. Like when you're this old.
Right. So,
you know what I mean? Like,
so my mom used to tell me before I got into even anything business oriented or whatever, when I was in the restaurant business, she actually said to me, she said, no, if I went out on a business trip, she said or a business meeting, whatever, she would go out and she would get there 15, 20, 30 minutes before the meeting, go in, talk to the server and say, hey, I'm coming in for this group or whatever. Where are we sitting? Who do we have? And then she'd go up and approach the server and say, hey, I'm going to order a vodka cranberry. Just give me the cranberry and water, right? And the right glass and the right, and make it everything. I'm just going to say vodka cranberry. You're going to bring me cranberry water, and it's going to be, the little tap on the shoulder, and you're bringing me what I want, not what I ordered. Right. And so she would go in and do that and then leave and then literally be walking in with the people from her group. So that way it seemed like she was totally new to the restaurant or whatever. Like she totally played it over.
Man,
and
if your mom was slamming those down, people would probably thought she was like a
baller, like a freaking baller. Like, well, that's
like,
not to say she had to order that many of them, but just to
right.
order 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 in the lunch period, or 3 in an evening plus cocktail, right? Whatever you're doing, to literally have that pre-set up with the server to say, hey, look, I'm going to order something. Here's what I actually want you to bring me. I'll pay for and if you have the means, do so. But yeah, I mean, she and let's face it, if you add up the bill at the end and everybody's like all, I got this many, Captain and Cokes, I got this many rum and Cokes and this many, vodka cranberries, they're not going to look at it and try and add those up. They're going to be like, yep, pay the bill. Right. And nobody's going to know.
I think you should always buy the first round, because then you're clear the rest of the night. I got the first round. And then everybody else will buy for you. Oh, you did get the first round. I got this one. It's always good.
I love your tactic.
Saves a lot of money.
Now I know you.
Yeah, saves a lot of money.
Yeah, now I know you. So now I'm taking the first round every time I see you.
Every time we go out, that's it.
Oh, that's a good point, though.
I think sometimes, especially if you go out of town, that
a
lot of salespeople. So you go to the Vegas thing. A lot of salespeople are like, yeah,
right, cut loose. Right.
And they kind of lose focus of what they're there for. That's why I really appreciate how a lot of employers will not communicate that. Oh, you signed it on the HR thing when you got hired 3 years ago, that you wouldn't do that. So I love that you set out those expectations to say, all right, listen, I don't care. Have a drink. Have 2.
After 5, here's your expectations.
Once this is done, go crazy, but not now, not here. I like that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't, because I can function on little to no sleep. And we all know that. And so
similar, so I mean,
I
think we all
I just
in our own capacity could.
I just don't know how people operate. Like if Rich and I go to Vegas and do like a quickie trip, and it's
what kind of trip? What kind of trip? Say it again.
It's like Rich and I and some friends and all that stuff. Like if we do like a 3-day bender or whatever, then we don't sleep really for 3 days. We'll maybe take a cat nap here and there, shower once or twice, and then we're moving on to the thing.
My body hurts just listening.
So, but it's not that big of a deal. But I've seen I've seen so many weird things and so many people put themselves in so many weird positions. I mean, when I worked at one of the swimming pool companies.
What kind of positions?
Well, here, I'll tell you. So at the swimming pool company.
Like the letter H?
Yeah. No. So like 3... So like 3 jobs, whatever, like a while ago, like a long time ago, like I was like 20, 21. I was working for this one company and they did a Christmas party at the casino boat in Elgin.
Okay.
And
Fun.
so they gave us money to gamble with, like everything.
Oh,
like,
really?
It was really like a really nice, cool thing. And they had a great raffle and it was open bar. And some of the sales team acquired somehow or another, brought in later in the evening, some adult entertainment.
Like...
Yeah, from Blackjacks.
I was gonna say like live.
Yeah,
they're alive.
Yeah,
not like a video.
No, like live people. We had
humans.
Yeah, we had a private room upstairs.
Nice. Okay.
So whatever.
You got these adult.
So that happened later in the evening. Well,
magicians, probably adult entertainment.
Yeah. So one of the guys there, wound up going home
with the entertainer.
Right, and got her pregnant. And
but nailed it.
But he had a girlfriend.
Oh,
boy.
So
well,
then he had
it's
to
not
call
marriage.
the girlfriend and explain to her what happened.
Went to my work party.
But I'm just saying,
Obviously,
like,
they were not in the champagne room because there is no sex in the champagne.
but I'm just saying it's just
So they
too
say.
much.
So they say.
Like, it just, they took it too far. Or like another time when I was on a business trip, like one of the regional managers.
I think anytime you bring any kind of sex or strippers or anything sexual into a work environment, alcohol totally
Might
fine.
have gone just a little.
I think once you bring anything sexual, if there's a giant dildo that I was at a restaurant party
What?
and we did Secret Santa, and I was given a blow up doll for my Secret Santa from my Secret Santa, and we blew it up in the bar, and it got passed around to almost every single employee in that restaurant. It was a holiday party for the restaurant. I won't say the restaurant name, but I met Carrie there.
This is for me.
But it's
but
I mean, like, well, okay, fine. Like a non-sexual thing then. I was on a business trip, and one of the regional managers, so they handled a whole territory of like 4 or 5 branches, got so drunk that he threw up on the vice president of the company's shoes and told him how he truly felt about him. But he still had a job the next day.
I could have taken a week or two to sink in.
I don't know.
Did he lose his job like 3 or 4 months later,
Like
suspiciously?
as far as I know, he was still there when I left the company.
Interesting.
Eric says he needs to hang out with Joe more.
But so I just feel like when you're, whether you're
Eric,
like,
I got some good stories.
like, I feel like whether you're at like a work event and you're with like your coworkers or your bosses or whatever, you still need to maintain a certain level.
Right. So like there's clearly a line both in in you obviously don't cross the line sexually. You don't cross the line with drugs.
So you need to know our safe word. Is that what you're saying?
It's no.
Oh.
Please don't stop. I'm sorry. It was the other way around. No, don't stop, please. The other way around. No.
I'm sorry. I had to.
No, stop. Don't. That's what it was. That's what it was. All right. So there's the you draw the line with certain things, like obviously always sexually, drugs. There's certain things you're just going to draw the line and go, yep, we're not doing meth at any whatever event, right? We're not doing anything crazy like that. So when it comes to, like you said, throwing up on your boss's shoes, is there a certain point that you should know your limit, or is
you're
that
an
something
adult.
you're gonna?
You should know your limit.
Well,
Like,
I don't think every adult. No, I don't think every adult knows their limit.
It's not your first cocktail.
I've seen many adults pass that line.
Well, I see
late
people
in
pass,
life,
like, the line all the time.
I pass
Like,
the line.
I'm not-
Hey, you pass the line.
Yeah, but like if I'm out with like my friends
Uh-huh.
and I'm not at a mixer and I'm not at a business trip and I'm out with my friends and I decide to have a evening out, that's one thing. I could do whatever I want as an adult. I'm just saying, like, when I'm with my friends and if I want to drink and I want to drink beyond,
And
like,
the bitches can bail you out.
yeah,
Okay.
like, I can
All right,
do
deal.
that.
Yeah,
But,
you're in. Okay.
when I'm at a business function or a networking function, I'm not going to drink like that during the function. Whether some of us that are friends choose to go out after the event and continue the party,
Right,
that's a different
right.
situation.
Right.
Yeah, well, take for example, you guys are business owners, but when you weren't and you worked for somebody, not necessarily the pool, that's a whole different world,
all the industries I worked in are all party industries. So
there are people out there who, hey, your boss invites you over to their place or out for a drink or whatever.
Right.
And they want you to be like, hey, don't worry about it. It's still your boss. You have to be very guarded with how you drink, what you say,
Totally.
And I think when you're at a function and you're representing the name on your shirt, no matter if it's your business or somebody else's, you have to be like, you know what? It's cool to have a drink, but one,
where do I know my limit?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually at like a networking function, I think 3 is usually where I cap myself in then that 2-hour period of time.
Oh.
So
Right.
like I'll cap myself at 3 is usually what I'll do.
And I feel like that is something that is always good. Like I feel I'm probably in the same realm as that, where I'm not going to go much over.
I mean, it's only 2 hours, like how much?
Right. If it's under 2 hours, you're looking at it different. But like things that you go out and do, then you may see yourself afterwards at, like you said, going out with other friends or whatever. Taking friends from that event and going out, like knowing the duration that you're out, your caloric intake, right? Like there's so much to me that you got to pay attention to as being somebody going out and having a good time, quote unquote.
But it's also like you have your kind of, I guess, your inner circle of other business owners or other coworkers that you trust over time and feel comfortable going out with, like, like with doing a networking group, and then we would go to Trax and Cary after, the networking, and we had worked like all day, and then the networking was from like 6:30 to 8, and then you kind of just want to unwind and
yes, exactly, and just chill, take some steam off, right?
Okay, but Restoration One has a suite at Topgolf. And sometimes you're bringing out your, I don't know, I would call them vendors or contractors or whatever. And it's
referral partners. Partners.
And it's meant to, hey, let's whack some balls and get a little goofy.
Have some fun.
And then that's okay at that point, yeah? Or no?
I think it's knowing who you're with and knowing my biggest thing is making sure people get home safely.
Absolutely.
So bottom line, end all be all, if I know everybody out there or whatever, I'm out with people and I know they've had, I'm not going to press more drinks on them towards the end, obviously, because I don't want them to have too much that they're just because they feel they need to belong. Right. But also at the very end, I'm going to make sure that when we all leave, great, everybody text, here's the chain, everybody text, make sure you got home safe. Please everybody tell me you're home. Please tell me you're home. Let's make sure we all get home safe, right? Like knowing that everybody gets home safe is really ultimately, and not pressing it as you get through the night. When we started this radio show, it was because you backed me in after an event. You backed me into the parking lot up against my truck or your vehicle.
It was mine because I had to drive you to your truck.
That's right. I was parked way down the road, wasn't I? Yeah. So, I mean, literally.
The same thing happened with me with Kent.
It was a small parking lot.
No, right? Kent did that to me to get me on the radio station.
That's right. That's true. It was after an event, wasn't it?
That's our sales tax.
So to be honest, let's talk about that because that closes deals, right? That closes deals. Right now. That you got Steph. Steph got me.
Yeah.
The world got Stephanie.
The world.
Fortunate enough to be the platform to send her out there.
Because I had to be back to the radio station at 6 a.m. the next morning.
That's right.
And we had an hour and a half conversation.
Yeah. Well, he's like, I don't know what to do and whatever in the show. Like he was being like real, like super, like he had like a skill about it. I'm like, oh yeah. And I thought we were just chatting. And he's like, yeah, momtrepreneurs. We should do a show on mom entrepreneurs. And he's like, good idea. He's like, I'll see you at 6 a.m. tomorrow. And I'm like, what?
Huh? And you just backed her into the corner, right in the parking lot. Yeah.
Got in his car, closed his door, like no reneging now, and he just left.
Couldn't even back out. You look at your watch and go, crap, it's midnight. What did I just sign up for? I got an hour drive home.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
I mean, I got backed into the parking lot, but let's face it, I was open at that time, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I'm totally for.
Well, and also too, earlier in the night, I made the announcement at the event that you were going to be my co-host too.
That's true.
So yeah, I doubled down.
Yeah. Well, let's face it. I mean, I feel that I've gotten some great. Okay. All right. I took out. This was back in my past life. These are the deals this is one of the greatest stories of deals that I got done. Over drinks. I took out my underwriter for a large insurance company. Their minimum premium for me, this underwriter, was $100,000. That's property only. So I took her out, and I needed a deal written for $700,000 in premium. And I got it written through her, and I was negotiating the deductible amount. It was between, like, I wanted 10,000, she wanted 50,000. We settled at 15. I won. So I wrote down, I have the napkin still, but they had this napkin in the restaurant, and I bought her $30 shots of 1942 Jose Cuervo. And we did these shots, and we did a couple of them, and I wrote on this napkin literally the deal in pen. And I heard of my uncle doing this because he's like grew up in the insurance world 30 years before me, 20 years before me. And so I've heard of him like these, we never had computers. We used to always write it on a napkin at the thing and then go back and mail the napkin to the underwriter with the contract in the envelope, right? Like they used to literally write deals on napkins and then have the underwriter sign the napkin. So I took it old school and had her sign the napkin and wrote the deal on the napkin over 1942 Jose Cuervo shots. And she signed it and did it. And I had this phenomenal deal. Went back to my office, walked back. I mean, I was walking like this back to and for those that can't see, I was tagging both sides of the sidewalk.
Walking like a third grader drives Mario Kart.
Essentially, that's a good one. Good analogy. Yeah, pretty much nailed that one. But got back to my office, sat down at my desk in the Cube Farm, and I sat down. I was cross-eyed, but all I did was take a picture of the napkin and send it in an email with the deal that we agreed on and all the terms that she agreed on and I wanted, sent it to her, and she sent me the quote back right away. Full quote, authorized, everything ready to go. And I sent it to my agent, and I said, dude, you owe me. Like, this was a rough one. I had a tough time getting to the train after work that day. But I got the best deal written I've ever gotten written off of that. They had a loss history, if anybody knows insurance, they had a loss history of $1.3 million a year. No, $1,300,000 a year. And I wrote the deal for $700,000 in premium. So I was writing it less than what they were burning. Yeah, so it was an amazing deal. I felt really good, but I had to just get her schnockered and sign a napkin. And that was the only way I could really get the deal done. Yeah. I love that. That was my favorite, like, over the drinks kind of deal that I got done.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there isn't like fun times and there's, deals being done over drinks and this and that. I'm just saying that you as an individual need to, one, be aware of your surroundings, and two, know your limitation. Because I
crossed the limit that day on myself, but I got the deal done. Is that okay?
I mean, that would be like, it's like a personal
I got home. Thing. I didn't drive.
I mean, it's a personal thing. Like, home. If you're okay with that, like, for example, like when I've been out at mixers and like we mentioned, they're 2 hours long. So if you're unable to articulate a sentence by the end of the 2-hour event, it makes me nervous.
Well, and that's to me where
it makes me nervous to do business with you. It makes me nervous to send clients to you. Like, you have a problem.
But do you pay attention to those people and make sure they get home safely? Or no?
I'm not their mom.
Interesting.
There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's taxis, there's the police officers. They
more than likely they're not going to take one.
There's more than enough options nowadays for you to get home safe.
Right.
That, people will take, whatever.
Okay.
Like,
Fair
I'm
enough.
not your mom. I'm not going to make sure anything. Like, yes, if I'm out with my friends and it's been a long day, will I text them after the long day? Yes. But
that makes sense.
Again, I'm not your mom. But all of
you're not going out of your way on a networking event.
Well, even like my friends, like
not.
I don't know, maybe I just have a different like for example, like when we went to Tennessee, okay, for Rich's 40th, I could tell by how everybody else, like we were all at a bar and we were all drinking. I could tell by how, because I've known these guys for years,
where they were at,
where things were going, what happened once the Jaeger bombs came out, because none of them had done a Jaeger bomb since college. So I knew where the evening was going, so I stopped. I stopped drinking. And
you're
then
like, I'm done.
I drove everybody
I'll be
back
responsible.
home.
Yeah.
So like I can read a room, engage it, and stop if I'm out with my friends, and I don't have a problem being that person.
Jaeger bombs?
Yes.
Ugh.
First of all,
birthday?
Let's just say you're listening to In the Know with Steph and Joe right here, 21.6 and net, brought to you through the financial support of our good friends over at Steph's Bookkeeping.
Oh, that's right.
This past
Carrie, I don't want any Jaeger bombs for my 40th. Any friends that are going to be there, I don't want any Jaeger bombs for my 40th. Note
I'm
to
gonna
everybody.
bring you a whole giant. I'm gonna find one like at Costco, a Costco Jaeger. Yeah.
No.
But I'm just saying, like you can, like if you're gonna opt to make yourself the responsible one out of your party or event that you're at, then that's fine.
Totally.
But I'm just saying specifically more so at work settings and work environment. Like I don't want my team out there drinking to that point where they can't articulate a sentence. It looks like I just feel like it's a bad look for our business.
Totally. Well,
we all know though too, the people who are like, hey, this chamber mixer is date night.
Yes, there's a certain crowd that understands why they are there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? I agree with that.
Yeah.
And in my mind,
and as a business person, you go, I really want to do business with them.
Well, in my mind, you see the consistency. Right? Fool me once, shame on you. Yep. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? Or fool me four times, right? If I see you 4 times at an event and I notice you're doing the same thing at every event, nothing's changing, right? Like,
so what about the people? So now we kind of talked about some of that, but like, what about the people have you seen at the events where they start getting some cocktails in them and then they just get like weirdly like flirty?
Ooh, I do
at
that.
events
I love
and
doing
stuff.
That. I love doing that though.
But you do that like sober though, so it doesn't like. Like that's, I'm just saying, like,
fair enough. I am so flirty; it doesn't matter what I'm doing.
But I'm just saying, like, you know, like, what about the people that like it just like instantly? So like, I was at a networking event, and a guy or whatever, I don't know if he was drinking or not drinking, but I was at a networking event, and then he put his hand like on the small of my back.
You told me, yeah.
That's like wildly inappropriate.
So here's what I have to say.
Right? Like that's wildly inappropriate. But then
obviously Rich wasn't around.
No, he doesn't go to any of the mixers.
Yeah, Rich mixer.
But like but like I've seen it in reverse where there's a woman gets a little saucy and then
I've had a few times where somebody has given me a hug from behind that was a bit aggressive.
Eric just says that, Joe, your constant flirting with him makes him just a little bit uncomfortable.
It's because Eric has such great muscles and beard. Like he's so well put together. Yeah, he's so well put together and like clean that you just can't not look at his soft, smooth, supple skin. He has some supple skin. He's well built. He's
But so I'm just saying that like I've seen where like some people at these events have gone too far, and it's like
overboard.
Like it's uncomfortably weird because some of these people are married, so it makes it like
because you know the situation.
Well, no, because they have a ring on, so I'm assuming that they're married.
Like a sales tactic.
Like I don't know.
Whatever. Well, hi,
Mom.
Hi, Mom. That was an awkward part to add in. So let's just say you know somebody's marital status, and you know that they're out gallivanting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care what people do because it's not my house.
I know you don't care, but do you feel that drinky poos are the cause, or do you feel that that
I
without
don't know.
like? Do you think that without Drinky Poos,
Some of the
it
people
would have
though,
been
I've
a
never
normal?
seen them sober, so I don't know.
Oh,
So like that would be, I don't know.
interesting.
But like I don't care
Really?
if they're married and that's what they do. I don't know the rules of engagement in their house. I don't know the rules of engagement in somebody else's house.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like,
You don't drive around and look at their
watch-
porches for pineapples, upside down pineapples.
but like watching that and looking at that, and like that's how you conduct yourself in a professional setting. That's how you conduct yourself to gain business. That's what you're using sex to sell, which is fine. I'm not
Right.
saying that everybody doesn't do it, but like you do it to the extent that it's noticeable to a crowd of a room of 50 people. It makes people uncomfortable. And I don't know if they act like that sober or if they act like that drunk only, or I don't know.
Okay.
But
Well-
like it makes me not want to refer. If you're comfortable and that's the way you do things and handle things, I don't want to refer you my married clients because I don't want that to be part of your sales tactic or conversation.
Does this
Oh my God, Derek only says hi to you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Thanks, Derek.
Yeah. No, he didn't say hi. He just was laughing at me.
Oh.
Me. He's laughing
He's
at
crying,
me.
crying.
Laugh crying at me. It's because
Oh,
I make
okay.
him hysterically
Laugh. Cry.
laugh cry.
Yes.
Do you feel that that if certain people are not out there having drinky poos, do you feel that you would not? The flip side of, hey, because I know this person is out drinking all the time, I'm not going to refer them. Do you feel like, hey, this person?
It's not the drinking.
No,
It's
but like it's like the understanding of
afterward, after whatever. Like it's their conduct and the way that they
during,
represent
after, right?
their business or the business that they work for.
So does going out and having a good time with somebody solidify if they act appropriately? Does that solidify even further your business association with them?
I mean,
The flip side of,
I guess, yeah, because there's that different layer of trust. Like if you could trust somebody when you're out, like drinking it in a more vulnerable like state, then, obviously there's like a different layer of the know, like, and trust then I feel, yeah. I mean, because there's not many people that I'll go out with and like drink with.
know that you can
do
cut
business with.
right,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, like,
Well, that's my question
also
is if you know you can go out with somebody and cut loose, and let's say you may accidentally have too much, is that said person you totally trust and they're going to take care of you? Or
well, I
do
would
you
never do that though.
I mean,
so
you may not do that,
a
but
weird
like
thing.
what if you accidentally do?
No.
Or no? Oh yeah, I know. We've talked about that before. So if let's say I go out and see somebody do that, what say they, if I see them do that and I go, okay, I feel different about them, or nope, I feel better about them.
Yeah, it could be, whatever your own, like whatever, like it's such a unique situation. So it's hard to like broad stroke the situation. Because it's so unique and different, and your experiences with each people and that, like
where are you at? What are you doing?
It's like a whole
What's
different
the occasion?
Thing.
Right.
Like I don't think that you should be blackout drunk at a business function.
Obviously.
Or church. Or wait.
Or church. But
sometimes that wine, the sacrament is really good.
But I just think that there's a time and a place. There's a time for business. There's a time for fun.
Totally. But
and if you have friendships with people that are also your business partners or business associates or whatever you want to call them, that's different. If you guys go out and have a little bit,
that's
more
what
fun, I guess,
or
more cocktails, like that's a different thing. But when you are in the mixer or you are hosting or traveling,
Sharon says that there's no such thing as accidentally over imbibing.
Really?
Derek says there's a difference between having too much and having them act in a manner that's negative, offensive, inappropriate.
Oh,
Right.
Fair enough. You could have too much but not be a jackass.
right.
Or a touchy-feely.
Yeah, because everybody knows, like,
same
I'm
as
not-
jackass to me in my mind. I mean, touchy-feely is jackass-ish.
Maybe you haven't had it done right.
Maybe-
Won't take me much. I haven't
Jump,
done
jump,
it
jump.
all year.
Yeah, probably not.
But yeah, I just think that, you know, like you could have a good time and do whatever, but once that, like, I guess my mom calls it the switch flips, is what she calls it.
Huh?
Like when you see the switch flip, and then you know you've crossed over into that realm where now you're no longer the fun party, you're no longer the fun person, and now you're either one of the categories that Derek described. So that's what my mom calls it, and then it's time to wrap up.
Like she's saying, see the switch flip for like your friends switch flip.
Yeah, your friends, yourself, your spouse, your whatever.
Whoever, somebody.
Yeah, you could see when it starts to happen, and you could see when it glazes over. Like I know.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
Like I know when, like I know for myself. Like.
I
know for myself, and I will exit. I will just immediately exit, like I said.
Irish. We call that an Irish exit.
Yeah, I just.
So when I
disappear.
That's what I. That's an Irish exit, and that's what I do. Is there's a certain point where I'm like, all right, I'm done. Boop, I'm gone, and I just don't even say goodbye. Normally, I say goodbye to everybody. Yeah. I'll walk through the entire room, shaking hands, giving 12 hugs.
This is like a rare event because I could see people like some of my friends list coming on. We have my mom, my Aunt Sharon, and my Aunt Janet are all watching. It's like a rare event.
Wow.
Where all three of them are on it.
Hi, Mom and Aunts.
Thanks for getting stuck in the net. Like, follow, subscribe.
Wow. We got the whole family here. You're getting condoned on your.
So tell us what kind of imbibing Steph does at the family. Send pictures.
I want videos.
So I don't think there's anything wrong. So with it, first of all, I think there's you never want
right.
You never want to get. You go to a football game and you never want to get publicly drunk. That's bad on your personal brand. Is what I would say, right?
We were at an event and there was this dude that was hammered, and I had something in my hand with a couple of buddies, and I literally walked up, and he was hammered, and I handed it to him. And I said, "Here, dude, hold this." And I walked away on this side. My other dude buddy came up and grabbed it from him and goes, "Thanks, dude," and picked it up from him and walked around him. And then the other buddy came up with it and handed it to him. And we literally ran around him for like 3 minutes, handing it to him and taking it away from him. He was so inebriated. You could see it's that glazed look you see in his eye. And I had a drink or two, but like it's not like I wasn't glazed. And we ran around him for 3 or 4 minutes, and it was one of the greatest things. He got so sick from that because we were doing circles around him.
But so I would go to we had a referral group at a bar in Wakanda. It was on the upstairs of a bar.
Yep.
And every time we were there, I would get an old fashioned because of the people that I was meeting with are in that referral group, right? So when I was drinking, I would always tailor my drink to whatever.
Who's with you?
Who's with us? But I wouldn't get 2. I would just get 1. It's like you
milk it,
and then you sip it, or it's a sip.
Right.
But I don't think I've ever gotten inebriated because it's your personal brand. So even let's say I'm working for Steph's Books and I throw up on everybody because I get so drunk, and she loses business, and then she's like, "You're fired." And then I show up in a Restoration One, they're gonna be like, "Oh, geez.
Oh, you remember that dude threw up everywhere?" Right. Yeah. Which
so I think you have to always protect your personal brand when you're at these events.
Which to me, how do you find the best way to do so? Like when people are asking you, "Hey, come on, let's go do this. Hey, come on, let's go do that."
Right.
Well, obviously, but those people with conviction can do so.
I got the first one.
Good one.
I mean, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, yeah."
He's already got the first round.
And then they get drunk and they don't know anyway. You just keep going. Wait, I got the first round. Oh, okay.
Fair enough. So I got the first round. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I'm just curious how, obviously conviction is everything.
Yeah.
You can have conviction. You can prevent people from saying, nope, I'm not going to do,
Okay, so let's talk about that. Then I got a question for the two of you.
Hmm.
What about so I'm not drinking this year, and
That's a
I
good
buy
point.
you all a drink or two. Do you politely decline, or do you be like, "Hey, cool, another one"?
If we're out like at a restaurant or a bar, then I would offer to buy you like a snack,
Okay.
like as,
in
like,
return,
yeah, like a snack, or I would get you a pop.
or buy you your meal.
Yeah, like I would reciprocate
Whatever.
in some fashion that would fit
Yeah.
your lifestyle.
Reciprocation.
Yeah, but would you feel obligated to keep drinking if I kept buying?
No, I would probably accept the one
Yeah,
drink and
no,
then stop.
absolutely. It's not a matter of, hey, you're buying it. Let me, like that's like saying you're going to, when we throw our events and we did our ribbon cutting, we had a cooler full of cans of beer.
Yeah.
That's to say you have to go in and drink all the cans of beer in there? No, absolutely not. You should know it was not gone. It was absolutely not gone. There was plenty left, but
because that's it, right? If we're all there, and I just say, just keep, when you see them low, just keep them coming.
Well, you know what's
Right,
really awkward
right.
though?
And then I'm not going, do you need another one? It's just they're showing up.
Right.
Well,
Right.
so I went to the city to go meet with
It
the
depends
client.
on the deal you want to work.
So I was doing a sales call or whatever. So he was not a client of mine yet at the time. I mean, he is now. So I went down to the city. We walked from his office. He wanted to go out to lunch. So I walked from his office, and he's talking about whatever, all these different cocktails, all these different things. And we're going to go to this New Orleans style restaurant, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. So then I'm like thinking like, are we having a drink at lunch? Are we not having, like, I was kind of confused. So, but he was talking up this cocktail at this restaurant, like the whole walk. So I was like, okay. So he had me order first.
You ordered the
So
cocktail?
I ordered the cocktail, and then he ordered a water, and then he told me that he doesn't drink, that he's been sober for 10 years. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Huh.
I mean, like the deal's still closed,
Right.
but it was like really weird. And I felt like it was like a setup.
Yeah.
Like
you should have been roofied, but you weren't?
No, like I shouldn't, like I felt like he was like talking up having this cocktail.
Yeah,
and
but that's
I
what I'm saying. If
then
you haven't
thought
drank
that
in
we
10 years, how are you
But I
talking
feel like
up
he
the...
should have like
Was
told
it
me.
really still that vivid of description that
I
he
get- well,
remembered
his-
from
his
10
wife
years ago?
drinks, so, you know, like, so I don't know.
So
But
you
it's
know
just
where he
like-
wants to take that.
No, it wasn't anything like that. But I'm just saying,
Uh-huh.
like, it was just like weird. Like then that was like
That's
probably
really
like the
weird.
only time that I felt uncomfortable with having a cocktail in a business setting. That was the only time.
I mean, yeah, I felt weird in certain business settings.
Because that would be like, you know, like when you and I went and had lunch at DC Cobb's. And if I was like talking up that
Yeah.
whatever that gin drink that we wound up ordering later.
And we had one, and then I had one, and you were like, no, thanks, give me a water still.
Yeah.
Everyone's always the same guy that's touching your back.
No. I mean, when I've gone out and somebody has ordered me a drink or something like that, and I've been out with people during a business setting, I typically try to make sure I understand the parameters of like the length. Hey, when are you guys going to stay till? Like, what's your plan? When you got to get back to the office? Do you got to get back to the office, right? Like, what's your plan for this? You know, I want to know, am I preparing myself to go, you know, for 6 hours and hang out for 6 hours, or is it a 1.5 hour, 2 hour event and I can bounce and be home and figure, you know, back to the office or whatever. I'm not looking for, or she gets the host. Oh my God, Eric, he's going hard on that. Yeah. I'm not even going to read it.
He's just in the Halloweeny vibes.
Clearly.
That's what it is.
That's what
Silence
it is.
of the Lambs.
Do you, since you mentioned going sober and you're out there like not being in events, but not, you literally supplied alcohol to an event, but was not drinking, right?
But it's not like Kent had a drinking problem. He just is testing.
I'm not saying, no.
It's just a testing. He's just testing
Well,
it out.
and that's what I'm saying though, is it is what it
Yeah.
could be whatever you want. You know, I don't, if you're drinking because you have a problem, or you're drinking because you don't have a problem, or you're not drinking because you have a problem, or you're not drinking because you
Just not drinking.
do whatever it is. I don't care what it is. That's what I'm asking though, is when you're out with people and you're supplying, like you said, supplying alcohol, do people look at you differently or ask you questions about that?
No.
I mean,
No.
at the mixer, I supplied a bunch of alcohol, and I didn't have one sip of alcohol that whole night.
They said your blue drink was a little sugary.
It was,
Yeah, it's like a hangover in a
probably
cup.
sweeter than that sucker.
Yeah, I mean, it was blue carousel, peach schnapps.
Yeah, it was so sweet.
Yeah.
I don't mean to.
It blew. It dyed your tongue blue too.
Really?
Yeah, it did.
Mm.
Yeah, it was.
My moonshine, but your blue drink was
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Ouch.
like, I didn't have anything cocktail related to drink during that 3-hour span or 2 hours,
Right.
2.5 hour span, and then we went out for dinner afterwards, and then
With-
I had
yeah.
a margarita with some friends.
Because mom was here.
My mom was with me at dinner.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Because mom was here. You had to go out and have a drink. But and that's what I'm saying though is.
That's a great question. What liability does a business owner have if they are supplying liquor and someone has an accident? Are they liable if they don't cut off people?
I
That would
don't
be
know.
an insurance question. I am not a licensed
course I'm an
PNC
insurance
agent.
people.
I am
Jeff?
not a licensed PNC.
Jeff, where are you at?
Jeff,
I know you're out there
Jeff, or Mary too.
I don't know, but wouldn't it be like the same thing? Like if
No,
somebody left
you'd
her...
be liable. You'd
Oh, my
probably
aunt
be
says
liable.
yes.
Yeah.
She says yes.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say you're probably gonna be liable. If I can remember being licensed PNC, I think you'd be liable for sure.
Well,
But
I know
never
that
did
when I
liability.
would get the day permit for the company picnics, and we would get like that day liquor permit or whatever. If I let anybody drink to that or whatever, that business let anybody drink anybody to like the capacity or whatever, the business was liable for like with the day permit or whatever. So there was like people that I drove home or some of the owners drove home just in case.
Love that.
I've got cameras here and I can edit the film. So my defense was, I don't know who they are. They weren't at my place.
What are you talking about?
I don't even drink.
Who's Jimmy Hoffa?
But
He's
yeah.
buried out back.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess
You'd definitely be liable. To me, in my mind, again, I think it's when I go back to like going out with my friends or something like that, I'm going to say to them, hey, I want to make sure you guys get home.
So is it your responsibility or the bar then
It's the bar's responsibility if we go out to a bar for sure.
to cut you off?
That's
rule?
why they buy liquor liability and why they're serving is but for me, in my mind,
I haven't
is
been
if
cut
I'm
off before, so I guess
if I'm still out with friends or acquaintances or whoever that I know, I'm still going to look at that and go, okay, I see you are not acting normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure you get home. Can I drive you home or let me, please just, and if, whatever it may be, I'm not their mother, but I'm sharing the road with them.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, I want to make sure that people are safe. That's it.
And Sharon says, dram shop laws?
Dram shop laws. It sounds like Aunt Sharon's is she a lawyer or a?
No, but she plays one.
No, she used to.
she
She's
plays one on
retired
TV?
now.
What'd she do before she retired? An attorney.
No,
Drink it out.
she worked-
Drank at outings. Went
worked in
on
the-
social events.
in the banking industry.
Oh,
for
she
the
knows
government.
laws. Yeah. Oh, for the government. Yeah. Way to go, Aunt Sharon.
Yeah.
We know that Aunt Sharon knows some rules. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because she used to have to travel internationally for business.
Aunt
roles.
Sharon's going to be our official fact checker. Enforced
There.
banking laws. Come on. Oh my God. She knows.
Please don't say it came across my name.
Aunt Sharon knows everything. And we're going to officially call on Aunt Sharon
you're
for
gonna
all
be
fact checking.
You're gonna be in so much trouble with my mom when she comes in town at the end of the month after that.
Why?
comment.
Why? Because.
Because my Aunt Sharon and my mom are so competitive.
Oh,
And then when
really?
you just said that Aunt Sharon knows everything.
Is the come on. Mom, you know that I love you,
My
and I
mom
know
will
you're
be in town for the show
well,
October
when
28th.
when she looks up to me and says, "What the hell are you doing?" I will make sure to.
Show's gonna
Wah,
be in
wah,
trouble.
wah. I'm in trouble. Yeah, I can't dig myself out of it,
This
but
is gonna be good. This is
Aunt
good
Sharon,
show ender.
listen. It depends on who. Listen, Aunt Sharon and Mom. Just we got it. If we ask a question, we want fact checks. Whoever comes in quickest, that they become it. We're wrapping it up.
Yep. So I guess thanks for tuning in. And next week we have new year, new budget. So we're going to be talking about preparing for budget, tax prep, all that kind of fun stuff now that we're here in fourth quarter.
That's it for all of us here at 21.6 The Net. How about a little, 50 Cent Hate It or Love It? Here
Wow.
we go.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's take them back.
Wow. You're just playing some music out?